Akshat mentioned that one of the artists Spotify has been supporting in the Middle East is Seera, a four-member all-female psychedelic rock band from Saudi Arabia. So let's take a listen to some of their music. Well, that's a clip from their single Wahm al-Kimma from their debut album released today titled Al-Mujallad Al-Awwal. That in English means Volume 1. And the four band members join us now from their rehearsal room in Riyadh. Seera, I want to welcome you to the show. Great to have you as a band on. I'm going to start by asking each of you to just give me a couple of lines on your background, how you got involved in this, and what role you play. And Noura, I'll start with you, basically.
Hi, my name is Noura. I'm the lead vocalist. I also play the keys and synth. I've always had a passion for the little details in music, which is why I got into production. I also have a background in classical music, and that's my roots, starting from the age of 15. And since then, we've adapted, we moved, we fusioned the situation, and we're here.
Hi, I'm Thing. I'm Seera's drummer. Yeah.
Oh, I thought we were going to get more than that from Thing.
Hi, I'm Mish. I'm the bassist. I like being the glue that brings the song together. And I got into music through Guitar Hero. Was a big metalhead, but kind of like dispersed or whatever. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Haya. I'm the guitarist, and I like to spice things up with the Arabic scales that I play, and I like to make things psychedelic with the many, many, many pedals that I have. I have an endless supply of guitar pedals and many more to come.
You sound like my brother, who's a guitarist, and I couldn't count all the pedals he had. Noura, you know, as the lead vocalist and fronting the band in some ways, tell me about the kind of impression you're trying to make as a band. What was your goal as a band as you came together?
I think our biggest goal was to tell stories. We wanted to tell stories that the audience could resonate with, from challenges from our real life, and I think that's our biggest goal. We also really want to inspire the younger generation to pick up an instrument, express themselves, sing however way they want, play however way they want, and yeah.
I know, Mish, you're Noura's sister, and I'm wondering what it's like, because when family's in a band, you've got the relationship in the band and the relationship outside. How does that work?
I mean, there's definitely a benefit to it. Like, a lot of times it would be like 3 a.m. and I can't sleep and she can't sleep, and we'd just meet up somewhere and write or jam. But you need to know how to separate like home life from band life and just disassociate the two when you need to.
Now, did you all have a long career in music? Because I know, Noura, you were saying you've been playing since you were a kid and so on. And I wonder, for example, Haya, did you have a long career in music?
Professional career, no. Actually, the first time I had ever received a paycheck from music was with these two girls. I was 28 years old. But the first time I actually started playing the guitar was 20 years before that. I was 8 years old when I started playing guitar. And I started playing piano around the age of like 4. So in terms of having a musical background, yeah, it's been a number of years. But career, no, that's very new, as it is very much new in Saudi in general.
And Thing, of course, people are going to see you there on the drums. Some might be intimidated by the fact you've got that look. Explain that look to me.
I'll tell you 100%, I'm the scariest person in the band. I pass by, people don't see me coming, and they're like, whoa, what's going on? Some people go, Bismillah, It's really funny. But, so this mask is basically used to reside in my mom's salon at home. She had collected these vintage and really old pieces from the Arabian Peninsula. They're like antiques, like bangles, necklaces, daggers, things like that. And I remember seeing this one for the longest time ever. So when the band formed, 2 years ago, and we were about to perform. I thought I would wear, you know, like a mask, because I really love like Slipknot, Daft Punk, Kiss. Everybody had like hidden their identity. It was like this element of mystery, and I really liked it as a gimmick, you know, like a prop. And I thought it'd be really cool to wear one. So I got it to the band. And I'm like, what do you guys think? And they loved it. They were like, yeah, it works. So that's the story.
And thing, I saw you in this rehearsal studio video wearing a T-shirt with Korn on it, and I know you're a big fan of Korn.
Yeah.
I was wanting to ask you what your music influences are generally.
Well, I would have to say it's a mixture between new metal, classic rock, prog rock. I listen to like a lot of music, hip hop, rap. I think because, you know, because I play drums, and it's mostly the beats and the percussion and everything that gets me to become really creative. So I really enjoy listening to everything, and then it kind of just stays somewhere in my memory, so that when you write music, it just all comes together naturally, and you know.
So Nora and the rest of you also, just give me an idea of your musical influences.
My influence growing up was I really loved classical music. I loved Beethoven, Mozart, Chopin, and then I also loved rock and metal. So there was always this blend and mix of different influences, and I think that's really what makes Seera unique, is that we all have different tastes in music. We have a lot of similar interests, and all that together creates this new sound that's different.
Yeah, so we're clearly all very much influenced by rock and metal. But I'm also super influenced by classical music too, and what I love about having Noura in the band is that sometimes I'll hear a classical piece and, you know, I'll show it to people and they're like, oh, okay, nice. But then I'll show it to Noura, she'll be like, whoa, I hear that and I hear this. And then we take elements of it and we allow it to influence our own style and our own sound. But my ultimate influence and the way that Seera came to be is there's a band called Altingun. It's a Turkish or Anatolian folk psychedelic rock band. So in April 2022, I found Mish and Noura on Instagram, and I saw that they were doing music together, which I thought was very touching. And I had seen that Mish was posting covers of The Doors. And so I just reached out to her. I was like, hey, are you based in Riyadh? This is an album that I'm very much influenced by, and I want to, you know, make music similar to this. I want to put a band together. Are you open to it? So she listened to it, and she was like, yeah, I'm totally open to it. And we met up, and she was telling me, hey, by the way, I have a sister that's a musician too, and me and her have always wanted to be in a band together. So how about I invite her over so we can have a jam? And Noura did come over, and it was just surreal being with two other women from Saudi that had such a shared vision and goal and dream. And we're talking about touring, and we're talking about playing in different venues. But we had that one missing link, which was Thing. And when we did find Thing, actually that was really that's what completed the puzzle. And we later found out that she also had this dream of always had this dream of being in a band, of going on tour, of playing to audiences. So like I feel, you know, I feel goosebumps as I'm talking about this right now. So I'm gonna pass the mic before I start tearing.
Yeah, Misha, I was going to say, because, you know, you said you had influences including like metal style music. I think a lot of people would be surprised to find four young Saudi women with these kind of musical influences.
I mean, with the help of the internet, like, you could get into anything. Like, and Guitar Hero kind of helped me like discover all these metal bands and stuff. So yeah.
What do you think, Mish, is the most kind of misunderstood thing? Because, you know, people are going to be watching this and saying, four Saudi women playing this kind of music or have this kind of influence on them. I think there's a lot of stereotyping. How much are you having to deal with that?
I mean, maybe like, well, we were told before, like, if you did a genre that was more digestible, like pop and stuff, you would go really big and whatever. But we wanted to do our own thing, whatever that thing was. And people seem to like it, and the metal scene and rock scene in Saudi is growing more and more. I mean, Metallica came to Middle East last year, and this year they're getting Muse and 30 Seconds to Mars. So it's not really like, there are a lot of people that are into this music here.
All right. Thing, you were saying that you're a self-taught drummer, like me, essentially. Were there any musicians in your family that had any influence on you?
No, there are no musicians in my family. I am actually the first musician in my entire family's history. My parents, descendants, to my knowledge, were not musicians either. So yeah, that's an interesting thought.
And how has your family reacted to you being part of a band like this?
No, my parents were very supportive. My dad actually came to our debut show with my mom, and my siblings came too. But like my parents were there, and you know before when I started learning drums and I got the drum set to my house, my mom was like, "A drum set? A drum set? Where are you gonna play this? Who are you gonna play with?" And then, you know, when I was on stage that day, I'm like, "Look, I'm playing with Seera. I'm in a band now." The drum kit, 10 years later, was very useful. So that
Very
was,
good.
yeah. So that was really cool.
And-
Yeah.
Yeah. And Nora, you explain the name Seera because we were talking a little bit earlier just before we started the interview itself, and it means journey.
So when we first came up with the name, I remember like we were all on the phone together and we're just saying random words. Okay, what are we? Camel funk? Are we? Hey, I was hungry. She was like naming all the dishes in the world. You know, we're not gonna be called French fries. Okay, forget that. Curly fries is not gonna happen. And then Sira came. I think because we all had a mutual vision of telling stories, and that's really what resonated with us. We're like, this is actually gonna impact our music. It's gonna help us. So it is our journey. Yeah.
And it's short
Hi-
and sweet. Like,
Yeah.
Rolls off the
Hiya,
tongue.
hiya. Just give me some idea of what the challenges are in having a musical career in Saudi Arabia as it's kind of coming out of this shroud for a lot of people in the West.
We see no challenges, just opportunities for growth.
Very good.
Yeah, I mean the challenges have been, yeah, just the
What outfit to wear?
what outfit to wear now. The challenges have been like all these opportunities that we've been getting. Like there's so many choices. We get all these like requests for bookings and stuff, and it's just like, do we want to be in Al Ula this weekend or in Jeddah?
could I take this? I mean, I think the main challenge would be like not enough venues or resources or institutions, or because we're still building that all together. But as time passes by, there's more and more opening up. So it doesn't seem like these challenges would last too long.
Well, that's what I was wondering, how you find rehearsal areas, studios, how you get involved with record labels, because this is all quite early days for Saudi Arabia.
I think you've definitely named the challenges right there in that question. Yeah.
I really want to say that whatever facilities, whoop, 1 second, yeah. So I want to say whatever facilities that we have available right now, because the industry here locally is growing at a really fast pace. And I think what they're trying to do, there are a lot of efforts in creating all these facilities to support musicians in whatever way possible. And I think all of this is great. And I just want to highlight that Seera are independent musicians. In the beginning, before we were joined by our manager, we were basically handling everything on our own, our debut show, our promotions, and we were approached, from local labels and like institutions and things like that, but we really wanted to go at it alone, and we really liked the journey of kind of organizing things and trusting each other and working together. And I think that's what built our trust more, that we're more of a unit, and we've made our dream come true. We launched an album, we did something together. It's a really emotional time for us. Yeah, we're going on tour. We're doing all these like really cool things that we never dreamed of doing. And I think just that feeling on its own has been surreal. And then they can continue with the adjectives.
Things are moving a mile a minute thanks to like the Music Commission, Vision 2030. I think maybe the biggest challenge was that we didn't have enough institutions at the time to learn theory, music theory and all that stuff. But it's also very important to have people you can, relate to, jam with, have fun with, and that creates the passion, because music is an art form. So art is beautiful in all its forms. So yeah.
Yeah, and Spotify was playing quite a big part in your development as well, I gather. They seem to be great fans of yours. We spoke with the head of the region, and they're very big fans. What role did they play, and how have they helped move things along for you?
So Spotify actually put together an accelerator program, and something that they really supported us with is, I know that each one of us, ever since we formed the band, have been talking about, getting involved with an artist in residency program, and Spotify made that a reality for the first time. And not just that, they also connected us with one of the top most groundbreaking producers in the region, El Waili. So we really are big fans of Spotify too, because they really made that reality. They've helped us accomplish our first artist in residency program, collaborate our first collaboration with someone like El Waili. I'm getting people I know from past lives messaging me saying, "Hey, we're big fans of El Waili. We just heard your music. That's amazing." So really getting our sound out there, which we're really grateful for. And not just that, I'll let my bandmates also speak some more, but everything from, we've done so many different workshops on music production, on social media, marketing, music marketing, on how to use Spotify as a platform as artists, and I'll let the rest of the band continue in chiming in.
One of the key things I should point out is that you've also been hailed as the kind of groundbreaking female phase of music coming out of Saudi Arabia. That's a double edged sword because the expectations are high. So, do you see that as a blessing or a burden?
It's definitely a blessing. I think we have a lot of passion in us. We have drive. We got the fire, and we just want to help people, move and dance and just loosen up because life is fun, and that's pretty much it. So it's not been. I feel like it's just a beautiful opportunity for us, really, to help the younger generations really pick up an instrument, play music, see what they like, and yeah, make an impact.
Let's talk about some of your tracks, and I'm going to just take you through the styles because you've got a very eclectic sound. It's really fascinating. The influences have come in. Let me ask you about a couple of these songs. Let's start with the one in English. It would be "Illusion of the Summit," Raham al Kimma.
It's about how like you always think that, oh, if I get this done, I'll get to the top, and then you drop back down, and it's a cycle, but you need to find happiness in the process.
What is the process for you guys working together in terms of the songwriting, where the lyrics come from? Where who is there one person that particularly sets the tone, or do you really add chip in different ways?
I mean, usually we write the music first, and then Noura would write the lyrics over it. So someone would just bring up a chord progression, some transitions, something that they like noodled with and liked, and then we'd all sit together and we have this board in our practice space where we write the emotion of each section of a song. So like, this is supposed to feel chaotic. This is supposed to feel melancholic, whatever that is. And the more we play it, the more ideas we come up with. And Noura takes it from there with the lyrics.
وكلنا من طينة واحدة بس يا خيال علمنا كيف نقيس من شاف أحبابه نسيان أصحابه مش اللي صار أشوفني في كل بلد ألحق الأمواج والسما تنقل.
Tell me about the work you did together with the song Nafas.
Yeah, so we got into the studio, and it was the first time that we got into a studio with a non-band member. And at first, and for him, it was the first time that he collaborates with a band, with a live band, because usually he collaborates with vocalists or with other musicians, but separately and not collectively. And each one of us really just brought something that was stored in our subconscious. Like for example, I can speak specifically to my my contribution in that piece. You can hear a bit of a Saharan desert blues kind of feel to it, and that's something that's always been lodged in my psyche and would peep out with Seera, but really in this track, that's when it kind of just sprouted.
Let's talk about one other song here, Al Fana, Oblivion.
So the story is just about, you know, always feeling like you have a lot of questions that you have no answer to, that you're lost in life's corners, overthinking things that are kind of meaningless, and the bigger picture is different. So that was really our inspiration.
And that's the beauty of what you can do with what your band, with what you're doing, is you can combine these elements of Middle Eastern music with all the Western influences you've had and have quite a unique sound.
So the story behind Shara al-Buhtari, it's actually very ironic. We wanted to find a way where we can tell, you know, we wanted to delve into the topic of mental health awareness, and this is something that's very important for us. But we also wanted to make the music a little bit lighthearted and have people still be able to move and dance to it, kind of like, you know, the Smiths and how they have this fun element and twist. Yeah, ironic. It's a bit ironic. So from that, I guess the story created itself, and the story delves into a character, which is a girl who wakes up and she has kind of a conversation with her anxiety, and it tells her you need to find a way out. So the song delves into, okay, how is she gonna find that healing? And she meets like-minded people, and suddenly she realizes that she's not alone, and that changes everything for her.
And that video of that shows a warehouse, which is a popular music venue in Riyadh, I gather.
Yeah.
How was it being in front of a live audience like that?
Oof. Our first show was in the warehouse, actually, and to our surprise, it was a full house. Everyone was there cheering us on. It was just a magical experience. Our legs were shaking. We looked like leaves, you know. But once we got on the stage, it just felt so natural for us to be performing. Like we were made to do this. And I think the highlight of the show itself was just hearing everyone go, Seera, Seera, Seera. And we're like, okay, there's a future here, because this is a dream. It's a dream we've had for years. And seeing that kind of come to life, it just really was a chance for us to... Okay, I'll give Tina a second.
And really, congratulations to you. It's amazing what you've done. You just released your album, so congratulations on that too. And you have tour plans. Tell me about those.
So we played our first show ever to a live audience on the 4th of May, which was a Thursday. And around, what was it, Tuesday, we were like, okay, no one knows that this is happening. How are we going to promote it? So we put a post up on Instagram, and we promoted it. And I remember we were talking to one another, and we were saying, okay, listen, there's not much promotion. We've had 2 days of promotion. It's very likely that only 5 people will show up, 2 of whom are Thing's parents. Okay, so but then we turn up to the concert, to our first concert, and it's sold out. The crowd goes back as far as the eye can see. And my sister, just to paint the picture, my sister came in maybe a few minutes late. She was 5 minutes late, and we were getting through our first song, and she had to tell the person at the reception who was selling the tickets, because tickets were sold out. She had to be like, hey, that's my sister on the stage, so that they would, be like, okay, come in, even though it's sold out. We had some pretty influential influencers that wanted to attend, but it was completely sold out. So we're like, we don't care how many followers you have on Instagram. You don't show up in time, then you miss out. Yeah, and tour.
Nora, let me ask you one thing about this. There you are, this massive crowd, as Haya's just described. You're looking out over it, and you've got to have your voice together and sing. What was going through your head as you looked out over that sea of people?
Well, something about me is that I'm kind of a perfectionist. So before a show, I'm gonna prep it to the max. Like I'm gonna wear the outfit that we're gonna perform in, and everything on the keys, and I'm gonna act like I'm talking to an audience. And I think that method really helps me a lot in the live show, especially the speech segments. Yeah, and stage fright is actually one of the most things that people are afraid of in the world. So it's a very common fear. But I think the more we practice it, I think looking at the stage and seeing my girls and my sister, and knowing that there's a lot of love on stage, it really helps us get through. I saw my cousins in the crowd, and everything felt great. Everyone in the first row were our loved ones, and they were cheering so loud. It felt just destiny. It was
Yeah.
destiny, really. It was destiny.
Well, Thing, why don't you pick up on this idea of the touring and the tour plans? Do you expect to get out there international touring anytime soon?
Well, yes, we're in the process of organizing a tour in Saudi. We want to expand to like MENA region, and then possibly even do a world tour, if anything. And we're pretty stoked about that.
And if anyone's asking what would they expect from a Seera concert, how would you describe it in a line?
It's an ebb and flow of emotions and excitement. I would definitely recommend, if you're interested in interesting music, you should definitely come and listen to us, because we really know how to put on a show. We have a lot to say through our music. It's a guaranteed pleasure, and I only say this humbly, because not from my opinion, but from the opinion of the fans that have attended our multiple shows and have shown us a lot of emotion. There were tears, there were joy. People were like hugging us after the show. We were getting a lot of "you inspire me." Some people were even, covering the bassist and the guitarist, the songs, and that's amazing, because we never really imagined that. And I think that's the type of impact you want to make on your audience. They're like engaged, and that's why I say, if you want to enjoy a show, you can come.
Well, you guys are cutting edge, not only in the fact that you've made such a name for yourself already with the first female Saudi group playing, this kind of very unique type of music as well, and blend of stuff, but also because you're going to be role models for a lot of young musicians. And I wonder, when it comes to these young musicians, particularly women and girls, perhaps even from your region, what would be the advice you'd give them on taking up the career that you guys have managed to achieve?
Honestly, our first piece of advice would be just do it. It sounds cliche, it sounds very overused and oversaid, but really just take the first step. Connect with other people around you. If your style is to make music with other people, just like it is for us, then connect with other people. If your way of doing it is more solo, then get in front of the keys, get in front of a guitar, take the lessons, spend the time, put yourself out there on Instagram. Put yourself. If it wasn't for Noura and Mish putting themselves out there and recording themselves playing together and playing alone, we would have never found each other. So, and also something that I know is the same for each and every single one of us. We've always wanted to be in a band. And for some of us, this happened later in life than others. And the one thing that we kept saying when people would ask us, "Hey, are you in a band?" we would say, "No, we're not in a band yet." We wouldn't shut it down by saying, "No, we're not in a band. It's never going to happen," because it doesn't seem like it's going to happen now. So really hold on to that hope. Dream your reality into existence. This is what each and every single one of us has done. And yeah, it's all possible. As much of a far reality as it might seem, if you do the work, if you show up every day, if you keep a good head on your shoulders, you keep a good attitude, you will get there. And also, of course, if you lean on one another, then you will get there.
Well, listen, I know that you guys are doing amazing things, and you've got a long way to go to carry on and take this out to the world. I wish you a lot of luck. I'll be the old guy out there pumping my fist when I see you in concert live. Looking forward to it very much. Mish, Haya, Noura, and of course Thing, all the best to you.